what to do and not to do when buying a home right here on Real Estate Talk Boston. This is Real Estate Talk Boston. I'm joined right now by one of our Boston Power players, Julie Costa from Keller Williams. Thanks for stopping by, Julie.
Hi.
Now, you've been in real estate for 15 years. I understand that you had a first recently.
I did. You'd think after all this time I would have experienced everything, but yesterday I showed a property to a buyer client and it was raining inside the property, not just outside.
Raining.
Inside. Yes, raining.
That is unbelievable.
It was different. You know, I thought maybe just the windows weren't shut. It sounded a little louder when I went inside, but yep, first floor, drip, 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 puddles on the floor, up to the second floor, dripping, puddles. Yeah, it was interesting.
Just when you think, I've been in the business for 15 years, I've pretty much seen everything that a seller can throw at me.
Right.
Just raining inside.
Yeah, raining. And believe it or not, my client wasn't scared or turned away still even. That was maybe the most interesting part, actually. He's a...
Oh, so you were with the buyer and you walked in.
I was with the buyer, yeah.
And they didn't turn around and just walk out the door.
Nope. He's in for the good investment, so he wasn't scared off. He's seen worse, maybe. I don't know, actually.
You do see some crazy things in real estate, for sure.
Yes. I was showing, it reminded me of when I was showing a house to a buyer, and there was, we walked right into the living room, and the house had been cleared out. It was pretty, I think it was vacant, but they left a few things there, some things on the counter, and right in the middle of the living room, a big bottle of roach killer just sitting there on the floor, like ant and roach killer, big letters right on the, so it was pretty clear they had some issues there, but...
time for the pest inspector. Bring them in.
Exactly.
Immediately.
There are a lot of things that make us laugh. Certainly. We always in the office say we need to write a book of all the things that we see, and it's fun to trade stories. I also think I walked in on someone, I was showing the house and there was somebody asleep in bed. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I blocked that one out, but yeah, there's some interesting things. Yeah, get us realtors at a party. We have some good stories of things that we see.
There's definitely good stories coming out of real estate. That kind of leads us into our topic for the day of really what to do and not to do if you're buying and selling a home. We know to make sure that you turn off the water or the rain, right?
Yes.
Make sure that it's not going to rain in the house.
Don't show it in the rain. Yeah, make sure you get your roof checked. And
don't leave the roach killer out. But
right.
As a seller, any other tips that you have if somebody's jumping into the market right now to sell?
Yeah, well, it's still it always is, even in a crazy market like this where things go quickly with multiple offers over asking. You still have to put your show that you've cared for your property, take care of the deferred maintenance, because and make it look good and do the best you can to show it and stage it and present it properly, clean it properly and have it cleaned. Because with buyers, jumping and they've lost out at a few other things, by the time they're paying extra for your house over ask, they really want it to be perfect. And as much as we can advise buyers that no property is perfect, and there will be things in inspection from a brand new house to a 200-year-old house, if they're then finding wood rot, they're going to be scared, and kind of extrapolates into what other problems could there be? So getting rid of the problems before your listing is really important so that people feel confident that you've taken care of the property. And buyers also will say, oh, well, this issue is here. It's going to cost me $5,000 to fix it. Well, really, it may be $1,500 or $2,000, but in their mind, they're not sure. And so they're going to be cautious and add more to it. So it could affect your bottom line in the end. So you always have to put your best foot forward, even in a seller's market.
And it's worth dealing with the issues prior to putting it on the market, because like you said, a lot of times the buyer is going to, be uncertain of what that cost is going to be and probably inflate it.
Yes.
And you would have saved money if you just dealt with it right up front.
Exactly. Because what they're going to want to try to negotiate off the price is much more than what it would really cost if you had just taken care of it in the beginning.
With inventory being so low up on the North Shore, you're in the Beverly area, and I know it's a grind out there. I mean, there's just not a lot for sale right now. I know sellers think that it's simple to sell a home because there's a lot of buyers out there looking and there's not a lot for sale. It is really important though to show your house correctly and price it correctly, because if it doesn't sell right now, right away, it's almost turns into the dark horse. Like
Right.
people are nervous about it, right?
Right.
It's crazy how the market has gotten so sensitive to that.
It has. There was a week where there were 5 properties came on in about the 400,000 price range in Beverly. And they were all, doing open houses, offers due on Monday or Tuesday. So as is the norm, we see them, change in the system, go to under agreement. Well, on Wednesday, there were 2 of the 5 still that weren't under agreement, and it was a shock, which is unheard of. But, they then went under agreement the next day, but it's, we all had expected all 5 of them to get multiple offers and go. So it was interesting and a little bit encouraging for buyers that maybe things are slightly changing, but we're not even really close yet. But it is funny how, if it's not gone in that first week or 2, you are wondering, because people are buying anything these days, which does lead me sometimes into a buyer tip. You have to be careful and be patient, because there are some properties that, doing this for 15 years now, I saw them come on the market, say 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and they sat for a bit because it's next to a highway or on a busy road, or it has a very strange floor plan. But these days, because people, buyers are kind of desperate, there's not much to choose from, they're kind of jumping at things that I feel like maybe aren't really smart investments. So it's hard, because when you need to be out of your property because it's sold, or you're renting, or you're already living, in a temporary housing situation, you want to buy something and there's not much to choose from. I understand that anything can be tempting, but it's just smart to, step back and say, is this really a good move for me?
It's easy to get caught up into the moment when you walk into a home and think that, okay, there's nothing else out there. This is the house for us.
Right.
Which is good to have that feeling, but you really have to have your list of priorities set before you walk into a property.
Right.
So you can remind yourself, like, wait a second, are we just jumping at this because we need a home, or do we really love the property? Right.
And there are going to be some gorgeous houses that look better or are more updated or have more space than anything else a buyer has seen, but it's in a far worse location. And that's really the worst thing to do. You have to just do location is always first. That's most important for resale. And when I'm out with my buyer clients, I'm always standing there with them saying, okay, this may be an okay fit for now compared to other things we've seen, but in 5 years, when you get a promotion, when you have another baby, when you relocating across the country and you have to sell, what will the effect be then? And let's look at how we feel about resale in a few years. Even if you're planning on staying here for 20 years, let's just be safe and cautious and look at it the right way.
Think it through, trust your agent.
Always trust your agent.
Be patient as a buyer, and don't leave roach killer out.
Never.
In the hallway.
Never. Because we'll remember it and add it to our book.
Thank you, Julie. And if you're up in the Beverly area and would like to connect with Julie directly, check out our website at juliecosta.com. We have more real estate tips just like this right here on boston.com.